But in science it is known as a flowstone because it was a stalagmite and a stalactite. They formed a column, and since then it has turned into a rock waterfall. The water runs down it quite physically. Now, right now, as we were in California, it hasn't rained in like 8 months, right? So we're not gonna have a real waterfall here in the cavern all the time. Come back in December, and you'll see it and hear it, water dripping like a waterfall. So, water dripping like a waterfall, as well as the stalactites, all that water gathers in these holes right here at the base. Those holes are shaped like Coke bottles or like flower vases, so skinny at the top and they gradually get fatter. And it's like blowing into a bottle like a musical instrument. It's like going, and it bounces its way all the way up and out of the natural entrance way up there. Except that was prior to noise pollution and the highway right next to us. That being, it used to be able to be heard up to a quarter-mile away from that hole on the surface. But it actually hasn't been heard since 1922 as the iron staircase absorbs what's left of the sound waves.
You'll just have to remove it.
It was at one point. What's up? That was my next topic. So take a look at this formation right there. That is what is known as our angel wing. Now, it doesn't have anything to do with me. If anything, they probably named me after that rock, considering it is 140,000 years old. Holy crikey.
Wait, so we're dinosaurs?
Right, so that part where it looks like there's a light on it, it looks like this, right? It's not that though. In fact, the formation and the light bulb are very distant from one another, but the formation is so thin that the light penetrates it no matter what, right? So the light bulb is right down off to the side where all that water looks, and it's shining up at the formation. So me and my coworkers call that the earthquake insurance policy because of how thin it is, right? So the science behind how we are not affected by earthquakes at all here in the cavern is that the plate tectonics sit 50 feet below the surface. Let me remind you guys, we're 165 right now, right? And the P waves and S waves, pressure and seismic waves, they only move vertically and horizontally, but vertically meaning outward, right? They don't move all directions. They don't use their strength and power to send down in the earth because that affects nothing, right? So in my opinion, sorry you got saddled with me as a tour guide, but I personally believe in spirituality and science together, right? They go together, in my opinion. If you don't feel that way, I'm sorry if you disagree, but do some more research. So, I like to think that earthquakes do not shake the planet to go deeper in. It results in nothing, right? It is trying to affect the crust, the thinnest, weakest part of the planet. Right, so that's what it sends its waves out to, right? So, we never feel it down here, but on top of that, we are 90 miles from the nearest fault line, so by the time the P waves and S waves do get here, even our surface isn't really affected. Now, let's talk about a crazy earthquake that happened in 1989. Adults, do you remember the Loma Prieta, Bay Bridge, and Cypress Freeway went down in San Francisco, right? I know there's a lot of people in here that are not old enough to know, but if you have not done your research on that earthquake, please do so now, right? Not like this minute, but at this point in your life, right? So we actually had a spiral tour on the ground when that earthquake took place. And let me say, this part of California was extremely affected by that earthquake, okay? So back then, our capacity for the spiral tours right now is 35. Back then, it was 50. So right now, there are at least 7 of you. That is an overbooked tour. But imagine 50. 50 of you, not including me. So there would have been 51 people here in the cavern when that earthquake happened. So back then, we also didn't have a radio or an intercom like we do now, meaning the only form of communication we had back then was a rappelling line that hung in the center of the cavern from the natural entrance. That rappelling line was dangling right here all times, and it was. Except the scientific journals emphasizes in bold letters, it was soft. It was swaying slightly. In fact, the tour guide at the time, he thought that somebody was, come up here, buddy, right? He didn't think that it was an earthquake. He didn't think it was vibrations from an earthquake. So instead, he wrapped his arm and said, sorry guys, we need to go up to the top. I don't know why, but we need to go. Tour is over. Everybody went up to the top, except it doesn't take 10 seconds to get up there, right? It takes like 10 minutes for all of us as a team to get up there, right? There's a lot of us in here. 50. And when they got up there, the gift shop was destroyed. No, Dad. No, get over it. No, nobody is dead in here. No miners died. No one died from the staircase, and nobody has died since the commercialing of the tourism. Right? No one has died. We don't need one. Hey, not opposed. Just kidding, I'm just kidding. So real quick, let me spin out. What happened? All of those 50 people didn't hear a soft rumble, they didn't feel anything, and none of them reported any specks of dust or rocks clunking them in any kind of way. So we already knew that the rocks weren't going to bump them because calcite is nature's bond. Not glue, but bond, meaning it cannot be broken by anything of a force of nature. So no earthquake, no tidal wave, landslide, mudslide, or anything along those lines, no human fist, no bear, nothing. But we did spend the time learning how to break it with dynamite and sledgehammers and just right? Right? So those people never recorded hearing or feeling anything, and when they got back up to the surface, the gift shop was like, oh my gosh, are you guys okay? Oh no, right? And as the tour guide left a handwritten note.
I'm trying to find that drop too.
That said,
Hear the drop?
it made me feel
There's like
mama bear, baby bear.
Where's it going?
The baby got too far from the mama. By the time the mama finds the baby, she's like, my baby, oh no, are you okay? And the baby's like, what happened? What's different about my life? Right? So that is what happened. So I do leave this time that if you have any questions for me, or if you want to work your way up the staircase at your own pace right now, please do so, as we only have about 3 or 4 more minutes to hang out and chat here in the cavern. Thank you guys. My name is Angel, and that was a fantastic visit.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that is just a deep area that rolls out.
Excavation
It up so
and it
that
has more fun off.
it looks like an equal building layer. What's up?
So if it rains a lot, will it ever like fill up?
No. So the bottom does lead out. So when it does rain, or like in the months of the year that the other caves around here close, because they do fill up, we don't. So we technically don't have a bottom. We are a bottomless cave, but there's no way to like fall to the bottom.
So you come in September that we can get